Sunday Night Football to wrap it up. Green Bay Packers get the win over the Seahawks 30-13. Packers move to 10-4, good for third place in the NFC North.
Right.
Seahawks fall out of first place, tied in record at 8-6 with the Rams, but losing the tiebreaker. And perhaps more costly for them, Geno Smith leaves with an injury. Sam Howell comes in and completes 5 passes for 24 yards, but also gets sacked 4 times and gets picked off. Pretty dominant game by the Packers offense, even if the stat lines might not show it, but they were moving the ball up and down the field early and often in this one.
Statement game from them.
It was. This was the don't want to play this team in the playoffs. Has Rich Eisen tweeted this out yet? Let me check.
Probably.
Don't want to play the winner of this game in the playoffs.
Also statement, though, in terms of how they did it. Like, they won the toss and chose the football. And then on the first drive.
I would never do that.
Right. Just absolutely marched down there, scored a touchdown, 7 runs by Josh Jacobs, I think, on that first drive, including the touchdown. Right away, they just went, we're going to stamp our authority in this game. They did. They put up a touchdown. They get, stop out of the Seahawks. They're suddenly like they're completely unstoppable early, up 17-3. Then Geno Smith actually starts executing something, and then the Achilles heel of Geno Smith raises its head again. Red zone turnovers. Took a stab at throwing one to Ballantyne.
Back-to-back plays.
It was like, and then the very next play threw it for real this time. That was before halftime. Then the Packers get a huge defensive pass interference play before halftime. They didn't have the guts to go for the touchdown, but they kick a field goal. I mean, it's kind of all she wrote at that point. Like,
I liked the field goal at that point.
Coward.
I liked the field goal. What I did say, they had 4 seconds, so they get the pass interference. They were kind of giving up on the drive till they threw it down the field for the pass interference. You have 4 seconds from the 4-yard line. I tweeted last night, I think you have time for a fade. I'm thinking like a back shoulder fade. Zip it in there so it goes incomplete quickly. You have enough time to take one shot. But I'm good with the field goal there. Absolutely good with the field goal there.
Yeah.
I know the Eagles did it in the Super Bowl, but the benefit of going for it there is the field position. You don't get that benefit going into the half. You get a free 3 points when it was 17-3. Like, big play to get 3
Still
points.
Still a 3-score game.
It was a 3-point pass interference, basically.
Yeah.
Which is huge. But yeah, it's 23-6. Josh Jacobs fumbles to kind of give the Seahawks a little bit of life as well. They get within 10, but that was it. That was all she wrote.
Yeah. The only thing, Seattle's offensive line that we talked about is an issue in some games and not in others. This was a game where it was an issue. And when that offensive line is not functioning, that's why Sam Howell had no shot of executing any kind of comeback. Like, Geno Smith is a really good quarterback, and okay, he may have some flaws like red zone, but Geno Smith is able to make things work with an offensive line that's hemorrhaging pressure. Sam Howell is not. So, when they put in Sam Howell, it was just feasting time for the Packers defense.
So 2 things I wanted to highlight here. The last touchdown, Jordan Love to Romeo Doubs. It was 23-13. It's 3rd down. I think the Packers were just coming out of a timeout. It looked like Seattle was coming after them. And I just love these plays in the NFL. People talk about the NFL being 2 different games on 1st and 2nd down and then on 3rd down. It's like a whole different game. 3rd down, blitz packages, coverages, the way you play, matchups, and the whole thing. Packers were ready for blitz beaters. And this reminded me of last year's Jordan Love, right? He just chucks it up to a spot on a post to Romeo Doubs. I don't know if Doubs was the first read or what, but Love seemed pretty confident this is the play, this is the read. And Doubs on the in-break kind of sees it's not even underthrown. It's just the ball's low. He goes down, picks it up off the turf, secures the catch, gets his elbow down. Just a beautiful throw and catch. Jordan Love to Romeo Doubs in a clutch situation where if they had – it's such a big play because it's a 2-score game, and if they had not connected on this, they kick a field goal, keeps it as a 2-score game. Yeah, maybe Sam Howell's never making that comeback, but this one completely seals the deal and is the type of play when we talk about the Packers' offensive ceiling that they haven't even reached yet this year. These types of Jordan Love plays that were in the bag way more last year than this year. To show this at this point, just huge, man. It was a beautiful play, great catch by Doubs.
Incredible catch by Doubs. He had a big game. What a weird season he's had. He's only just come back from a concussion that had him out for a couple of weeks. He was wearing the Guardian cap helmet attachment in this. He'd also, remember, was he suspended for a game after basically bitching about not getting the targets that he thought he deserved? So that's a hell of an arc for him over the course of the season.
He's just a disgruntled fantasy owner. He wants his targets like any other fantasy owner wants theirs.
He's got himself in fantasy.
Yeah,
he's ruining his league.
It's a reality league for him, but fantasy league for other people. Because who the heck knows who's going to catch the ball for the Packers every week?
Maybe it's both. Maybe he's got himself in fantasy as well.
He might. It's true.
So that was an incredible catch by him. The one at the end came incomplete, but like Christian Watson was making big plays and wasn't screwing them up. Amazing catch for him. At one point, made a bunch of other plays. Edgerrin Cooper had an incredible performance and consistently is Green Bay's best linebacker, and yet they persist in rotating linebackers and not just having him out there every single snap in a way that I know is driving Packers fans insane, and I don't understand it myself.
Driving me insane as an Edgerrin Cooper fan as well. He's
particularly
awesome.
When apparently they told Chris and Mike Tirico on the broadcast, like, look out for this guy. He's going to be – well, then why are we taking him off the field? Why is Quay Walker playing football when Edgerrin Cooper could simply be playing all of the time?
Yeah, he's had a couple games. Like early in the season, they were easing him in. This year, he played 34 snaps. Quay Walker did get banged up. I think we're going to see more Cooper down the stretch. Pass breakup, interception,
I don't
sack.
understand what we're waiting for. Like, why just keep him out there?
Makes a lot of big plays, man. So he had missed a couple games, including Niners game, Lions game, missed both of those, but came back and made a statement last night.
Yeah,
their second-round pick.
Really did.
One of their second-round picks.
They also had Chris. His mind was blown by the spiral rugby punting of Dan Whelan.
Yeah,
you see that? He was like, "Look at him! He's kicking the ball on the side. It's not, he's not dropping the tip of it, doing it the way punters do it. He's executing a spiral kick in rugby."
How unique is that?
I mean, for rugby, it's not unique at all. It's difficult.
How unique is that in the NFL right now?
I don't know if anybody else is doing it because he's the only Irish punter, right?
Did that force a muff?
I don't know if it definitely made it challenging to field those. But so I think it must be, I don't know if it's modified or if it's simply that the football doesn't react the same way as a rugby ball to that style of kick. But the way he's striking the ball there is the way that you try and spiral a rugby kick for distance, right? And try and get as much on it as possible. His isn't doing that, but it's creating a sort of it's creating like a Manning spiral, right? The lame duck semi-spiral that is causing the thing to wobble like hell as it's coming down for the punt returner to field it. And that's making it challenging for that guy.
Yeah. Glad we got to talk a little punt game.
I'm sure you are. You as a special teams expert over there.
So Geno Smith leaves injured, got rolled up on. Was it a knee?
Yeah. With a weird, that was such a strange rule, which I understand the reasoning for. Because he gets hit low down by his ankles and gets hurt. And you're like, well, that's obviously roughing the passer. He can't go low anymore, which apparently is true unless the quarterback happens to have both his legs or both his feet off the turf at the time. So the logic is like if you jump and the guy gets you around the ankles, well, obviously he didn't actually go low. The quarterback just jumped out. But because he jumped to try and get the hell out of the low hit that was coming, that absolves the low hit. It's no longer illegal because the quarterback didn't have his feet on the ground, which seems like a loophole to me that shouldn't exist. Like,
never jump.
That was a low hit that somehow got away with the technicality because Geno was trying to get out of it at the time. This is the case where I think that the NFL's rules get themselves into trouble by simply trying to avoid any form of judgment by officials, right? Like if it was another sport, you would simply say, obviously, if the guy jumps 3 feet in the air, it's not a low hit. He jumped, right?
Yeah.
But let the official have common sense applied to that, as opposed to saying, we got to put it in the rules that if he doesn't have both his feet in the ground, it's not a low hit because then he could be jumping it. Yeah, but what happens if a play like this happens where he tries to jump out of it, lest his ankles get wrecked, doesn't successfully achieve it, but because his feet are off the ground, we're going to absolve the late hit or the low hit. Like, we can't just allow an official to apply common sense to that and say, no, evidently that's a low hit. It's a penalty.
We want to avoid any common sense play from the officials. We do not want that. So Geno's health in the coming weeks here. And look, I think he's had a very good season. Dealt with the offensive line issues. I really like their receivers. JSN, again, nice game. He's helped develop JSN. They've been very inconsistent with their run game throughout the season. I think Geno Smith's having a great season relative to what he's, the way they've played up front, what they've given him. He's huge for them. And look, I think Sam Howell was a great buy low backup. Clearly, he didn't look great last night, right? There was a difference when he came in versus Geno Smith. And Sam Howell has high upside in a 1 or 2 game setting. But down the stretch here, Seattle at 8-6, tied with the Rams record-wise. You've got the Vikings at Chicago, Bears, and then at the Rams to finish it.
They're in big trouble if they don't have Geno.
They're in trouble.
I mean,
this is what we're getting at.
I'll go further than that. I will say if they don't have Geno, they're done.
Yeah,
even with Geno, they've got to.
You might need a game of Sam Howell against Brian. I mean, I don't think it's a season ender for Geno, but we'll see.
But like if they don't have him,
but if you have to miss a week and it's Sam Howell going up against Brian Flores,
I don't
Vikings defense. Sam Howell had that massive sack rate last year.
Yeah.
Not great.
I don't think that they can get into the postseason if they don't have Geno for every one of those games.
And the Packers are the best third place team in the NFL.
In history.
In history. The best third place 10-4 team I've ever seen. Green Bay Packers. Just really good effort by them overall. The overall numbers for Josh Jacobs at the end weren't even great. He was under 4 yards per carry and everything, but they dominated up front to kick things off.
Yeah, and his grade won't be good either because he fumbled.
And he fumbled. He did let them back.
Certainly early in the game, it was a lot of Josh Jacobs and a lot of success.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end of our video.
For more great content, click here to subscribe and here to watch another video. We'll see you again soon.